What's up everyone, Carter says no. Welcome back to another video today with my AEW Double or Not in 2023 review. And yeah, this was another very enjoyable AEW show. A lot of good stuff on there, just a lot of stuff I did enjoy. Is it the greatest AEW pay-per-view of all time? No, but I personally I liked a lot on this. I enjoyed a lot on this. I'd rank it about a 6 or 7 out of 10, so still pretty high, pretty solid. I know some people weren't a fan of some of the undercard stuff, and the last two matches kind of boosted that up for them, and the second half of the show kind of boosted up for them. But there's still a lot that I enjoyed. There's only one thing I was a bit disappointed in, and we'll get into that. But yeah, so let's get into this because there is a good bit to talk about. Because AW reviews are stacked as always. And we'll start with the match that we had on the buy-in. But before I do that, I do want to quickly say, on the buy-in, they had Renee Paquette, Stokely Hathaway, Big Show Paul White, and I can't remember who the other person was. I'm not too familiar with them. I think it was a Kareem something. Yeah, not too familiar with them, but I need Big Show, Renee, and Stoke to be like the pre-show buy-in host panel thing from now on in AEW. That's just like a great group of people, very entertaining. And yeah, the buy-in match, Hook and the Hardys did get the win over the Guns and All Ego Ethan Page. In a fun pre-show match, I did enjoy this 6-man tag. A lot of fun. The Hardys both hit a twist of fate onto Ethan Page. And Ethan kind of sells up into Red Room, taps out, and gives the win to the Hardys and Hook. And Ethan Page is under contract with Matt Hardy now owns the rights to Ethan Page's contract. And yeah, I did like the stuff they were doing with Ethan Page and Matt Hardy before. I thought that was entertaining. So I am happy to see kind of more of that. I thought Ethan Page and Matt Hardy worked well together. So yeah, I'm happy to see them kind of continue that. And I feel like there's going to be some entertaining stuff to there. And I hope, they continue to do the entertaining stuff. And yeah, as I said, I did enjoy this match. Also on the buy-in, Martha Hart was introduced by Renee, and she talks about the own tournament and it taking place in like Calgary and at the like Stampede show thing. And yeah, she introduced Tony Khan coming out wearing a hat. And that was about it. I was kind of hoping we'd see maybe like the brackets for the tournament or something be announced there. But no, it was just kind of Martha Hart kind of talking about the tournament and just kind of, it was like what were they building as the opening ceremony. So yeah, I was hoping we would see the brackets, but we didn't. So maybe Dynamite will find that out for the own. Main show kicks off then with the Blackjack Battle Royal, and I really, really enjoyed this. This is a fantastic Battle Royal. A lot of fun. I love a Royal Rumble. I do love a Battle Royale. I just think they're a bit of fun. And this one was definitely up there as one of the best that I have seen. Commander does his rope walk moonsault to the outside. He hadn't entered the ring at this point, so it didn't count as him going over the top because he hadn't entered the ring. So technically, he didn't go over the top. At least that's what they explained in the commentary, and I ain't gonna complain. At least they kind of explained that and said, this is why they didn't just kind of go so yeah, at least they didn't explain. At least they explained that. Another good spot I really like, Trent sacrificed himself. I believe it was Big Bill had Orange Cassidy on the apron, goes for a big boot. Trent pushes Cassidy out of the way, takes the boot and sacrifices himself and gets eliminated. So yeah, that was a good spot. Ricky Starks then continued his stuff with Bullet Club Gold, eliminating Jay White and Juice Robinson. They pull him out from under the rope and attack him at ringside. Eventually Starks does get eliminated by Big Bill, get a big boot over the top rope, giving Bill an elimination. And Big Bill actually did have an impressive showing in this Battle Royal. He got down to the final 3 before being eliminated by Swerve. Also Keith Lee was eliminated by Brian Cage while he's trying to eliminate Swerve, continuing on that feud there and continuing that stuff on, which again, hopefully we get to see that one-on-one match soon. We were kind of thought we'd get a Revolution, we didn't. Thought we were going to get it here. We didn't. Maybe the first episode of Collision could be a good place to do it. Yeah, because I'd like to see both men kind of move on to something new. It's not that I haven't been enjoying this feud, especially since the Mogul affiliate joined with the Embassy. I feel like it's picked up a lot there since adding like Brent Cage into it, instead of Parker and Trench. But I just would like to see them finally get that big singles match and then possibly move on to something else, which I'll talk about with Swerve, because he is in the final two of Orange Cassidy and they have an unbelievable back and forth, a lot of good stuff here. Eventually they're fighting on the apron. Swerve's just hanging on with one arm. Cassidy looks like he's going to load up for the orange punch, but then just like, nah, kicks the arm. Swerve's there falling, trying to grab onto anything he can, but gets eliminated. Very good final two. Loved the final two. I want to see Swerve and Orange Cassidy win that belt, or for that belt 1-1. I wouldn't be against Swerve being the one to end Cassidy's reign. And there was, going in, Orange Cassidy, I feel like, was the favourite. Especially once they announced all 21 competitors. I feel like a lot of people were saying either Cassidy or Swerve should be the ones who win. So having them be the final two, I feel like really worked. Because there were a lot of moments when it looked like Swerve was going to eliminate Cassidy, and you're like, are they actually going to do it? At like one point, Prince Nana's there trying to like grab onto Cassidy, and like, are they actually going to put the belt on Swerve? And yeah, I feel like having that bit of doubt where you're like, are they going to do this? I feel like really helped this as the final two, and maybe that's why I really enjoyed that final two as well. But yeah, Orange Cassidy did retain, but like, as I said, I wouldn't be against them running that match 1-on-1, Swerve and Cassidy. Adam Cole vs Chris Jericho was up next, and this one was okay. It wasn't really anything special. I feel like this is one of the weakest things on the card for me. I feel like it didn't really hit as much as I was hoping it would. It was not special. It was just kind of like your typical hardcore match. I feel like I've seen Adam Cole have a hardcore match like this, like a million times, though. Like this one wasn't really anything special. Of course, Sabu was there. He came out just doing Sabu things, throwing chairs at people, went up to the top rope and did a dive to the floor. Well, more like he fell off the top rope through a table on. Was it Daniel Garcia or one of the members of 2.0? I can't remember who exactly was on the table. But yeah, Sabu and Strong brawled to the back with the rest of the JAS, leaving it 1-on-1 until Britt Baker does run down and starts hitting Chris Jericho with kendo stick, of course, getting revenge for the Chris Jericho setting her up for that attack with Saraya. Speaking of Saraya, she comes down and comes out to attack Britt, but Britt's hitting her with the kendo stick, and they go to the back, brawling to the back, which sets up a match on Dynamite. We do we see backstage promo later on where Jericho and Saraya make the challenge. Jericho throws a fireball into someone's face. It was like a production guy or someone. And the match gets officially made for Dynamite this week. Jericho and Saraya versus Britt and Cole. Finish of the match comes when Adam Cole wins via referee stoppage after hitting Chris Jericho repeatedly with a chain. This was kind of a callback to Chris Jericho and Shawn Michaels from Unforgiven 2008, I believe the pay-per-view was. Adam Cole's a Shawn Michaels guy we know from NXT. Jericho's Jericho. So like, I feel like I can see where the inspiration definitely came from that. I get what they were going for. This was a big kind of personal feud. Jericho set up Britt to be attacked while Cole was handcuffed right in front of Cole. So I get Cole not wanting to pin Jericho. He wants to beat Jericho. He wants to like hurt Jericho. So I get having him not win the match by a pinfall and having the stoppage. I get what they were going for. I don't think the execution of it really connected with me, especially when it's an unsanctioned match. Having an unsanctioned match where you say in the build-up, AEW aren't liable for anything that happens. I just feel like not a big fan of a stoppage in an unsanctioned match. But like I said, I get what they were going for. It just it didn't really hit for me. And this match didn't really hit. The crowd were kind of dead for this match. And I know like people on Twitter were like complaining about the crowd, but I didn't. At least like I don't know, I didn't think they were that bad. I thought they were there for the battle royal. I feel like they were there for the match after this and for like a lot of the card after this. It was just really this match where I felt like they were down, but again I feel like that's just because I didn't really this match wasn't as great as people maybe were expecting. And yeah, like they have the match coming up on Dynamite. Maybe I'm kind of hoping this mixed tag is the blow off, because you know it did, the feud did involve Britt and Soraya, so I'm hoping they kind of blow it off there and we can move on to something like else for Cole, um, uh, leading into like Forbidden Door and All In. FTR then retain the tag team titles against Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal in a very, very fun match. I love this match. I really enjoyed this. It was a lot of fun. Some great stuff in this one. Jeff Jarrett hits Mark Briscoe. Of course, he was the special guest referee with the guitar after Dax ducked, so he accidentally hit Mark. FTR hit a sharp machine, but there is no ref, so Aubrey Edwards goes to run out but gets stopped on the ramp by Sanjay Dutt. Of course, Sanjay had just been ejected by Mark, and as he was leaving is when Mark got taken out and Aubrey started to run down. Sanjay stopping Aubrey from getting in the ring. Here comes Karen Jarrett, hits Aubrey Edwards over the head with a guitar, takes out Aubrey. Yeah, that was a very fun thing to see. Belt shot and stroke by Jeff Jarrett to Dax for a very close 2-fall. I bit so hard on this. I thought they were actually about to have Jeff Jarrett and Jay Lethal win tag belts here. But no, Dax got a shoulder up. Jeff is pissed at Mark because, of course, Mark, it was a bit of a slow count because he was just recovering from getting hit with the guitar. He's kind of pushing Mark and saying, just count, why didn't you just count it? Mark has enough of this, slaps Jarrett, and as Jarrett sells the slap, turns around, sharp machine, 1, 2, 3, FTR retain your tag team retain the AEW Tag Team Championships. And as I said, I love this match. I thought this was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed this one. Speaking of match that I did enjoy, Wardlow versus Christian Cage for the TNT Championship. Again, another very enjoyable match. I enjoyed this ladder match. Some big moments in this one. Wardlow jumping from, like, doing a springboard onto the ladder, like Shelton Benjamin style. And of course, Wardlow's a big guy, so the ladder comes crashing down. Both men falling to the mat on that one. Wardlow then goes to climb up the ladder, but Luchasaurus gets involved. Arn Anderson tries to level the playing field, but gets caught for a chokeslam. But while Luchasaurus has the arm around the neck, Arn bites the thumb of Luchasaurus, and like there's a lot of blood in Arn's mouth, a lot of blood on Luchasaurus' thumb. I don't know if that was real or it was like a blood capsule or what, but it was a great visual. Luchasaurus goes after Arn again. But Wardlow is there to make the save with a chair, sets up Luchasaurus on a table, and climbs up a ladder and hits a beautiful looking swanton bomb. A swanton bomb Jeff Hardy would have been proud of in the back. Very beautiful looking swanton through 2 tables, and this leaves Christian in the ring alone. He's climbing the ladder. Wardlow, he just risked it all to take out Luchasaurus, but Arn Anderson is there to push the ladder. And Wardlow by this point had got back into the ring, and as Arn pushes it and Christian's falling, catches Christian into a power bomb, and that is it. Wardlow's able to climb the ladder and unhook the TNT Championship. Very, very fun match. Really enjoyed this. As the spots I mentioned there were very entertaining. I was kind of hoping they might put the belt on Christian, but I'm also not them against having Wardlow retain and having Wardlow go on a bit of a longer run, since he has only really just won it not that long ago. But yeah, it was a fun match. Hopefully they can continue giving Wardlow fun defenses like this. Maybe he has a defense against Luchasaurus, which could be a fun match coming up soon. They could do that on Dynamite or Rampage, even Collision. So yeah, that is something I would like to see coming from this. Toni Storm beats Jamie Hayter to become a 2-time AEW Women's World Champion. Of course, there was a bit of doubt around Jamie Hayter going into this one with her injury. And yeah, I feel like this match was affected by that injury because Jamie's music does play. She doesn't come out. Eventually, we see her getting thrown out onto the stage, followed by the Outcasts, and out they come. They had beaten her down in the back. And yes, Ray and Ruby getting involved in this one, which leads to Britt Baker and Sheila coming in to even the odds and taking out the rest of the Outcasts. But of course, the damage had already been done to Jamie, who gets sent into an exposed turnbuckle, and Storm Zero gives Toni the win and the AEW Belt Women's Championship. It's clear Jamie was hurt and not fully clear to have a proper match. I do think they did the best they could in this situation. Your options are you either do something like this or you strip Jamie of the belt and have someone else defend it on her part. I feel like this way makes sense. You were able to get a bit of a story, a bit of a match out of it, and you can set Jamie up to coming back and maybe winning the belt at Wembley at All In if she is cleared by that point, if she's fit by that point. See, I'm not going to really complain about this one. I feel like they made the best of a bad situation with Jamie's injury. So yeah, I'm not going to really go on and complain too much about that because I think they made the right call and made the best out of it. Bad situation. House of Black's Open Challenge was answered by The Acclaimed and Daddy Ass. Max's rap was hilarious. He had a great line here about Buddy being cooked by a kid named Dominic. First, if you don't know, Buddy Matthews and Rhea Ripley are dating, so it's a play on, or a diss on the Dominic Mysterio stuff with Rhea Ripley. Fun match. I really like the finish. Billy Gunn comes in and he has a beautiful hot tag, just taking out the members of the House of Black. I can't remember who he takes out on the rope. Might be in Buddy. And he's like doing the suck it. And he turns around, bang, Malachi Black Mass, or whatever he calls it now, I can't remember. The big kick that Malachi does takes out Billy for the 3. House of Black retain. Again, another very fun matchup. And another match I did enjoy. Again, it's not really like anything. It wasn't like anything special, but it was a solid matchup and did its job. Which then brings me on to Jade Cargill retaining the TBS title over Taya Valkyrie. Again, this was another solid match. Jade, I feel like this one of her better outings. You know, she did a springboard, like, was it drop kick, or she did a springboard and got caught with a drop kick or something, I can't remember, but she did a springboard. I don't think I've seen Jade do a springboard before. You know, she was busting out stuff, and you know, Taya got a good match out of her. Jade did like a little dance performance during her entrance as well, and had like someone performing live. Yeah, and this was another match that I did enjoy. Great near fall. Taya Valkyrie hitting Road to Valhalla. I thought they were actually maybe going to put the belt on Taya here, especially when the first match they had was Taya couldn't use Road to Valhalla. So when she hits it, I'm like, oh, are they actually going to have her beat her? But no, Jade Cargill kicks out a very close 2 count. She got her shoulder up. Eventually, she hits Jaded, gets the win, and goes 60-0 and retains the TBS Championship. Smart Mark Sterling then cuts a promo saying Jade Cargill is like undefeated. She's beaten everyone. There's nobody left for her to beat. And if anybody wants to step up and challenge for her, she will defend the belt anytime, any place. Which leads to the returning Chris Statlander. So happy Statlander's back. A big Statlander fan. Happy to see her back from her injury and back on TV. Statlander comes out and returning from injury, setting up a match here against Jade Cargill, and Chris Statlander becomes your new TBS champion, and Jade's streak ends at 60-1, and I think this is a very good way of doing this. a very good way of getting the belt off Jade and a very good way of ending her streak, because you do it in a way that still protects Jade, and it's not like some BS thing that like they did with Goldberg and the taser against Kevin Nash. This is Jade already competing in a tough competitive match against Taya, being too confident, being too cocky, issuing an open challenge saying no one can beat me, and then if fresh Chris Statlander comes out and beats her. So yeah, I feel like this is done perfectly in a way that protects Jade. You get the belt off Jade and you make Chris Statlander return from injury feel like a big deal. So not about positives here, and I'm happy because this means we can. I'm happy because this means uh, Chris is back, and she's getting a big push into the TBS title picture. I'm happy it's something new with the TBS Championship, because literally Jade Cargill is the only person before now who has held this belt. And I'm happy to see Jade potentially move up the card and move on to some other stuff away from the TBS Championship, because I feel like it's just time to move on and time to do something else. And yeah, like I said, I feel like it was done in a way that benefits everyone involved. Next up, main event, or not your main event, your AEW World Heavyweight Championship match. The Four Pillars failed four-way, Jungle Boy, Jack Perry, Darby Allin, Sami Guevara challenging MJF for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. I was expecting this one to main event. I thought this would go on last, but it didn't. They want to Anarchy in the arena. I want to give a special mention to Sami Guevara and Taikanti. They come out onto the ramp, and Sami has his cue cards, things, his signs that he used to have, and on it says basically that, like, before I go and win the world title, we have a special announcement, and they're expecting a baby. So congratulations, Taikanti, Sami Guevara, on that. Now let's get into the match. And I thought this match was unbelievable. I feel like all four men in this match really stepped up and delivered. I know a lot of people weren't really big fans of the build. I didn't really mind it. I thought it was okay. Could have been better, yeah, but could have been worse, yeah. Like, I thought it was an okay build. I knew once the better ranked these four would deliver those, so I didn't really mind it too much, and they did. They stepped up. They delivered a classic AEW title match. One of the best fatal four ways, maybe of all time. But yeah, definitely a really good fatal four way. Lots of good stuff in this one. They all hit their mentors' moves. At one point, Scorpion deadlock by Darby. Was it like the Walls of Jericho by Sami, Kill Switch by Jungle Boy, Crossroads by MJF. They had a four-way submission locked in a point, where one would have, they were all four had each other in like one submission in a way, like, it's kind of hard to describe, but yeah, they did. Sami Guevara catches a Darby tope into a cutter, which looked so smooth. Sami also then did a Spanish fly from the top rope to the floor, to Darby, onto Jungle Boy and MJF. Also during the match, MJF gets on the mic, cuts a promo where he says to Sami, look, you're expecting a child, just lay down, take the money. Like, he offered him during the build, playing into that, and Sami's like, alright, fine, I'll take the money, lies down, and as MJF goes to like bend down and pin him, rolls him up, 1-2, MJF kicks out. So yeah, again, they were built there, they played into that part of the story where MJF was trying to pay off Sami. Then what else do we have? The end of the match comes as Jungle Boy is standing in the ring with the belt. I believe MJF was trying to introduce it, but Jungle Boy ended up having it. He's looking at Darby. He's like, do I hit him? The crowd are like, do it, yes. And they actually boo when he drops the belt, which is very interesting, and something maybe to potentially keep an eye on and see how that develops. He dropped Darby. That like hesitation allows Darby to take control. In comes Sami, hits a knee on Darby, hits the GTH onto Jack Perry. He goes up to the top with Darby, pushes him off, and goes for the coffin drop. But as he's up on the top rope, MJF sneaks in, puts the belt on Jungle Boy's chest, so Darby lands on the belt as he does the coffin drop. Of course, the coffin drop also lands on Jungle Boy, so that takes Jungle Boy out of the equation. Sammy's already taken out. Darby's kind of rocked because he landed on the belt. MJF comes in, headlock takeover, 1, 2, 3. The side headlock takeover once again, beating Darby Allin. A great throwback to their previous feud, and a good callback to their past. Really enjoyed this match. Nice bit of storytelling there with the callback to the history between MJF and Darby. You have a throwback. You've play into the build to this, where they're all hitting their mentors' moves, which played a part in the build. They also play into MJF trying to pay off Sami. So yeah, really good match. All four delivered. Ooh, is a match of the night. It is a close one between this and the main event, Anarchy in the Arena. I might slightly give it to the Fail 4-Way. I think I might have enjoyed that one more. I think I might slightly give this my my match of the night. But yeah, very good match, very good AEW title match. And yeah, all four stepped up, delivered big time, and excited to see what the future holds for all four of them. They definitely are the future of AEW. And yeah, I'm excited to see what comes next for all four guys. Especially Max, I want to see who steps up and challenges for that belt next. Main event time, Anarchy in the Arena, and this match was awesome. Another very good match, Anarchy in the Arena. A lot of fun. Just a massive brawl around the whole arena. And yeah, there's so much to cover. I've tried to, there's like so many big, cool spots that I've just like made note of here. So yeah, I'll try to get through them. I might just have to like look down at my screen and read them out, because there is a lot to cover here. There's a live band playing Wild Thing on repeat. Personally, I didn't think it sounded too good. But yeah, at the beginning, they eventually the lead singer eats a super kick from the Bucks, which stops his that. Matt and Claudio end up fighting into concessions area, and Claudio hits a big swing on Matt, and eventually they end up fighting out of the arena into the back of a truck, where Claudio hits a pile driver on Matt, which takes him out of the match for a bit. Meanwhile, while all of that is happening, kind of in like picture-in-picture, Jon Moxley and Kenny Omega are like fighting on the set. There's a poker chip with barbed wire wrapped on it, and Mox hits a suplex onto Kenny, onto the barbed wire poker chip, grabs a fork, and Abdullah the Butcher style, stabs him in the head with it. Omega eventually sends Moxley into the barbed wire. Camera kind of missed this. They were looking at something else, but they just cut back as Moxley was in the barbed wire. So I believe like Moxley might have had like a sleeper or a bulldog choke or something, and Kenny, fell back onto it or something like that. I'm not 100% sure what actually happened. But yeah, Moxley gets sent into the barbed wire. But later on, things are just chaotic. Wheeler Yuta ends up attacking the Kenny Omega with a leaf blower. Bryan Danielson throws Nick off the stage. Hangman Page hits a deadeye on the apron to Jon Moxley. Kenny Omega goes full Captain America with trash can lid, just kind of like blocking the attacks and using it as a weapon. Captain America shield style. Where was I? Mox and Yuta have Nick locked in a double submission, and Matt, he's been taken out in the backstage area and that part of the brawl. He comes out, super kicks Jon Moxley with an exploding shoe. Like an exploding shoe. The shoe literally explodes as he super kicks him. I have no words to describe it. That was just awesome. Really loved that. And I don't know how to pull that off. Like, how do you rig an exploding shoe? It looked awesome as well. It was just really cool to see that. Like, it was great visual, looked awesome. Like, still blowing my mind. I've like rewatched that clip like 50 times probably, and it still blows my mind just thinking about it. Yeah, Wheeler Yuta gets hit with a buckshot lariat and kicks out. I feel like Claudio was maybe meant to break it up, but he's like second late because he dives. But like Wheeler had to kick out. But still, Wheeler kicking out with the buckshot was big. Blackpool Combat Club removes Matt's shoe, of course, and slams him first barefoot into tacks, which just thinking about it, like since like shivers. And then they put tacks into his mouth, and Claudio hits an uppercut. Kenny and Hangman are kind of meet head to head, face to face. In the middle of the ring, they kind of looking at each other, firing each other up. They start fighting off the Blackpool Combat Club. They're reunited. They're back together for the first time in ages. They're working together as a team. They're just seeing them fire each other up, working together. Awesome moment. They do the Deadeye into a one-winged angel, which onto Bryan Danielson, but it gets broke. The pin gets broken up by Wheeler Yuta. They go for the buckshot V-trigger combo, but Don Callis kind of interferes, causing a bit of a distraction, which allows Jon Moxley and Claudio to put a stop to it, but Kenny and Page eventually fight them off. Hangman goes for the buckshot lariat on Wheeler. Wheeler ducks, he kind of like falls towards the rope where Don Callis is. Don hands him the screwdriver, hits Hangman with it. Goes to hit Omega. Omega ducks. He hits a V-trigger on to Yuta and goes for the one-winged angel. But as he has Yuta up on his shoulders, Don Callis gets in the ring, and Omega just kind of turns around, puts down Yuta, stares face to face with Don Callis, and then out of nowhere, someone wearing like a hood and a balaclava jumps the ring, hits a knee on Kenny Omega, and they remove the hood and the face mask, and it revealed himself to be Konosuke Takeshita, turning on the Elite and aligning himself with Don Callis. Not sure if they're aligned with the Blackpool Combat Club. We'll have to wait and see how that develops. But he's at least with Don. I'm not sure if that means they're with the Combat Club yet, because the Combat Club were kind of celebrating, and Don and Takeshita were kind of off in the corner by themselves. So yeah, we'll have to see if that means Takeshita and Don are with the Combat Club, or if they just common enemies. Wheeler Yuta then gets the pin, or hits Kenny with the screwdriver and gets the pin on Omega. Big win for Yuta, picking up the pinfall victory over Kenny on pay-per-view. That is a big fall for Wheeler Yuta to get, and very awesome match. Really loved Anarchy in the Arena. It was a lot of fun. Like I said, it's between that and the 4-way for my match of the night. Like I said, I did enjoy a lot of this card, but those two matches were by far the two standouts. I feel like this really helped the show. Like, these are the two matches when you think of Double or Not in 2023. These are the two matches that will come to mind. These are what the show. This is what the show will be remembered by. Maybe Chris Statlander's return as well. I feel like these are the two main talking points. Those two matches are the two main standout moments from the show. But I still did enjoy everything else. The only thing that really is a bit of a letdown was Cole and Jericho in my book. But yeah, overall, I did enjoy the show. I did enjoy it, especially those last two matches. Go out of your way, check out that Phil 4-way and Anarchy in the Arena. If you're into like that bloody hardcore style, definitely check out that. But if you just would if that's not your thing, that maybe just check out the Phil 4-way. But yeah, very good show. Really enjoyed Double or Not, and I know some people were a bit 50-50 on it. I've seen a few people say they didn't really enjoy the first half show, but the second half has really picked up. But like I said, the only thing that personally I didn't really enjoy was Cole and Jericho, but everything else was solid. Yeah, it was solid. And yeah, it was a decent show. I thought, like I said, maybe like a 6, 7 out of 10. Not like a home run, but I won't say it was a terrible event either. So yeah, let me know what you thought of AEW Double or Nothing 2023 in the comment section below. Leave a like, enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in the next one.